What up, Skin? Welcome to Bar Advisor Bryce the Fourth, giving out raw reactions and interacting with the masses. No subject is safe. You'll hear the people and the noises, but that's the point because without the people, what is the point? Embrace some vibrations. First and foremost, I went to Cowtown this weekend, and if you're not from, the area from which I am from, you don't really understand. If you know, you know. But I went for the first time in God knows how long, and it was just what I imagined. But so many people were just being weird. I get it, if you know me, I will talk my shit when I need to talk my shit. I was just there to have a good time. I did have my Eagles shit. It was the day that the Eagles were playing, but people went out of their way to say some shit to me, and I'm like, what? What is wrong with you people? In a nutshell, Cowtown is just a big ass farmers market. It's farmers market on crack. It was cold outside, so it wasn't what it normally would be in the springtime. But yeah, people were just being real weird. I don't understand it, but I get it. Anywho, divisional round in the National Football League. Not as great, or it wasn't spectacular like last week was, but it was a lot more satisfying, and if you know me, you understand why, and we're going to jump right into it because we got the Eagles and the Giants. Let's go Birds! Like I said, I was never fucking concerned. Not an ounce of me was concerned. I said that I was anxious, never nervous. I was never worried. I didn't think that they were going to demolish them like they did, but never was worried about the outcome of this game. Eagles had an easy job description. Make sure Daniel Jones doesn't run on you. Make sure Saquon doesn't run on you. They weren't worried about the receivers. Front line defense in general, but the front four on the defensive line looked like they did in the front half of the season, where we can just drop back, 7 and just rush with 4 and get the fucking job done. Son Reddick, great signing. Still getting sacks. BG, Fletch, all of them. Josh Sweat. He's back. Let's get it. And I will give some credit to the Giants because they weren't expecting to be in this position at all. The division at the beginning of the season was stacked. They were calling us the NFC least, and then all of a sudden now we're the best division in football with 3 teams in the playoffs. So how about that? And so I'm going to give them credit. Daboll, he took a team, the exact same team pretty much, and turned them into a winning franchise. And they do. When it comes to the Giants and even the Commanders, I'm like, okay, you can get your credit. I don't like them as teams because they're my division. Only one other team in that division I really actually truly just dislike with a disdain in my heart. But I'm going to give them the credit. They deserve it, and they got to this point, but they didn't. They should have never expected to win this game. Daboll has a strong case for Coach of the Year. I would say it would either be him, Dougie P., Sirianni, and that's not even me being biased. I'm just saying he had the greatest, regular season in Eagles history, and that's just a fact. Look at the stats, and it's a fact. It's facts. It's not facts. It's facts. The Eagles vibe feels very familiar to me. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I've been doing very well with not doing that this whole entire year, and I'm going to continue to do that until it's time to fucking open the shell and unleash. But I'm not going to do that. The squad is very cohesive. And I don't like that people were taking Nick Sirianni's Michael Jordan, Jalen Hurts comparison out of the context. He wasn't saying that the man was the best in the league. He was saying he has that aura. So when you go into a game and you're like, yeah, we got Jalen Hurts, you feel a little bit, if not a lot better, knowing that you got that guy commanding your team and that all you need to do is your job and everything else will fall into place. It was just an easy game for a team who was superior, and it was just not even close. I'm not saying that they were shitty. They just couldn't match up with the Eagles, and it's just a fact. It's just a fact. So, fly Eagles fly on the road to victory. Chiefs, Jags. The Jags had an opportunity to win this game on multiple occasions. It goes to show you the lack of experience, not as far as coaching, because like I said, Dougie P is a hell of a coach. More so, the players, Trevor Lawrence's first time, a lot of those players' first time. Jaguars don't have a track record of being really good in any facet the past billion years. Since the Blake Bortles days, that was like 2015. And even that was just a 1 year, one-off thing where they also had an opportunity to go far in the playoffs and they didn't. The Mahomes injury obviously is the biggest storyline in this one. When he got hurt, I thought it might have been a hip, just the way he fell down. When they said it was only an ankle, I was like, cool. But then when they said it was a high ankle sprain, now I'm like, oh shit. Obviously, he got back in the game. Big ups to him for getting back in the game. And he was even telling Andy Reid, like, listen, man, I'm getting back in this fucking game unless my fucking foot needs to be cut off. He's a warrior for getting back in this fucking game. And then I don't know what the Jaguars were thinking. Not just when you see the man handing the ball off on one leg, he hopped twice to hand off the ball. Like the first 4 times he got back in the game, that's when you just go straight at him. Even if you have to give up something on the back end, blitz this man. He can't run, which is it's part of his game is scrambling. He can't run. Force him off that spot, and they didn't do it. And I think that's what really was their downfall. The Jaguars and their Chiefs, their run game and their defense saved them. Jaguars have a legit future with this quarterback, with NTN at running back, with Christian Kirk. People complain about them spending that money. Turns out that worked. Look at that. So, I mean, Chiefs did what they needed to do. Won the game, but for real, good shit from the Jags. Nobody expected them to even get out of the first round. Nobody expected to be in the playoffs in general, so, yeah. Niners, Cowboys. Boy, oh boy, did them boys look like actual boys. The Cowboys defense definitely made it a very winnable game, but Dak folded like a fucking lawn chair in July. I don't know where his mindset was at, but he had one of the most terrible games he had all year, and he picked the wrong fucking week to be awful. Awful. It was a lot to... Tony Pollard is definitely a great weapon for them, and when he went down, I get it. The offense probably changed a little bit, especially with play calling. But again, the defense was keeping them in this game. The Niners averaged almost 30 points a game, and they only had 19, and you still didn't win. 12 points is not going to cut it. Brock Purdy, again, wasn't a hero. Still shocking the world. He had a very shaky start, and I think that's when the Cowboys should have jumped on him. But then again, here you go with Dak turning the ball over twice. At his MO all year. All fucking year. That is his MO. And now you have to wonder what the Cowboys do moving forward. They got key free agents. You only can franchise one player. Pollard, yeah, he did break his leg, but it's a fracture in his fibula. They said he's going to be back for training camp. So who do you decide is the priority here? This man Zeke out here talking about he'll take less money. Yeah, you have no choice, buddy. Either that or you're going to get more or less money going somewhere else. And I found out that he just built a home, in Dallas. Yeah, I don't think he wants to leave. Grady. The Niners defense is elite. I'll give him that. Fred Warner. Werner. I know it's how it's spelled, but I think it's Ferner. Is a fucking animal. That man was covering CeeDee Lamb downfield, pass breakups. You get none of that, boy. Kyle Shanahan continue to show that he's a fucking beast of a coach, especially when it comes to play calling. Their run game still bomb. Even if they didn't have Christian McCaffrey, I think even with Elijah Mitchell, they still could be on this tear. And so Niners get the job done, and I would say it was an ugly win. It wasn't like anybody was blowing anybody's socks off, but they beat them, and that's all that matters. A dub is a dub. Random note for them, though, the Cowboys' Twitter account, when they blatantly blamed Dak by name that it was his fault, is crazy. That person probably got fired, but they didn't take the tweet down, so clearly somebody meant it. Even Jerry Jones probably like, yeah, you're right. I mean, it is what it is. Niners get the dub. The final game was the Bengals-Bills. I was looking forward to this game almost as much as I was looking forward to the Eagles game. And I did not get the product that I expected. The Bills looked like a flat fucking tire. 2 flat fucking tires. Josh Allen again trying to play hero ball. I saw multiple times where it was like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, and this man is just unleashing the rock down the field. Like, come on, man, take what the defense is giving you. People will say like, yeah, it's snowing. It was a dusting, and the Bills play in that weather multiple times a year. The man's been there for 4 or 5 years. You know what it's like to play in that weather. And fucking Cincinnati came to your town, and they also play in cold weather, and absolutely waxed the Bills. Snow Joe Burrow showing up, saying he doesn't give a shit. That man was standing in the pocket, and credit to his fucking offensive line. That was a big deal for them. The man was getting sacked 6, 7 times a game. I think they only sacked him twice, and he had plenty of time. Jamar Chase out there being a goddamn beast at 2 tutties. I knew that one touchdown was a touchdown, and I was watching with a bunch of people. That's a touchdown. I'm like, come on, man, watch the ball moving. But that is irrelevant. That was sprinkles on top of the fucking cake, top of the ice cream. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need that. It's just crazy how the Bills didn't show up in their own element. A lot of people talking about how Stephon Diggs was showing up Josh Allen because he was open. But the man got 10 targets. So who's the blame here in this aspect? Was it you not catching the football? Was it Josh Allen just being terrible? I would say it would be a mix of both. I saw rumors of Stephon Diggs being traded. That's just stupid. People, especially wide receivers, will get upset in these moments where you feel like you can change the game, but your quarterback is just reeling and he's trying, and like they're scoring points, the Bengals, and their Bills are not, and just getting behind. But then you get those situations where you have to pass, and you feel like, hey, you can throw me the ball, but it just didn't get it done. Second year in a row that the fucking Bills get to the divisional and lose it as a top seed, not number 1, but a top seed. And I hope that the Bills don't get to a point where they're like the Bills that went to 4 straight and just bowls and couldn't get it done. This is not a good look for Josh Allen. People are criticizing the shit out of him, but that's not what this is about. Joe Burrow did it again. And as I get into it, Chiefs-Bengals next week. Joe Burrow has never lost to Patrick Mahomes. 3 times he's played this man. 3 times he's beaten this man. And now we have to wonder, is this Mahomes injury going to make it 4? It's the biggest factor in how the Chiefs' offense is going to operate against the Bengals, who have a really good front line, who have pretty solid. Their safeties are fucking beasts. The Bengals safeties are nasty. And it's not about Mahomes being able to run out of the pocket. It's about him being able to make plays and scramble. He even said in his interview, he had a couple times where he had to plant and it just didn't, like, it's a high ankle sprain. If you never had an high ankle sprain, I had one when I was in college, and I had to wear flip-flops for like a month. I'm not a top-tier athlete, but I'm just saying that shit, he probably woke up with a fucking baseball on his ankle the next day. I mean, he said he started treatment the night of the game. After we were done, it's going to take everything. He's not going to be able to practice because you want to maximize any opportunity for him to get on the field. And then the other question for the Bengals is, can they repeat the same performance that they had where they kept Joe Burrow clean for most of the game in a shitty-ass weather game? This is the 5th straight championship game for the Chiefs, which is a wild feat. And I think that if there's any time to do it, this is Joe Burrow's time to be the Peyton Manning to the Joe Burrow, or to Mahomes being Brady, where he keeps winning, Mahomes, and Joe Burrow is playing second fiddle, and he just can't do it. And it's like now that this injury and the O-line getting confident is opening the floodgates for Joe Burrow to be like, fuck this, I'm going to go get it. I mean, he's already been to 1 Super Bowl, and I think it's possible that he could do it again. And then we got Eagles and Niners. For me, it's whose defense is going to dictate this game. Both have great front fours on the defense. I think the Eagles have a better O-line, but then also the Niners got Trent. Trent Williams is a fucking animal. I love you, Lane. I love Lane. I think he's the best right tackle in the league, but I think Trent Williams is the best tackle in the league, left or right. I'm just saying, he is. Eagles have a clear advantage at quarterback, clearly. And me personally, I'm not worried about Brock Purdy. I think it's more about their run game. But then again, I think that if the D-line for the Eagles show up, it'll be irrelevant. Cowboys gave you a formula to show you that they can be stopped. I think Christian McCaffrey only had 50-something yards last week. That, I'm just saying, if they watch the film and the coaches don't overthink it, I think that they can eliminate that run game, and the Niners are going to have to rely on Brock Purdy. And I don't think they want to do that because the Eagles' D-line will eat. Also, the Niners got to travel across the country. They got to play in the elements. They've been in sunny San Francisco for 2-3 weeks. They got to come to Philly, fans. But I'm not saying that it's a guaranteed dub. I promise you that, because the Niners have been playing well all year, and it's not a gimme. I promise you that. Both organizations playing like one band, one sound. Philly seem just a little bit more cohesive to me. I'm not making any predictions. I'm just saying what I see with my eyeballs. What does Brock Purdy look like when he's constantly pressured all day long. When they take away your crutch, what are you going to do? And then on the flip side for the Eagles, can they continue to replicate these outings with Jalen Hurts healthy, with all their weapons on the field? It's going to be a fucking great championship weekend. We got 2 more of these on the way. After this game, we got Super Bowl preview, and then whatever happens after that, we'll talk about it. Rain or shine. Big ups to the first state. Stay focused and be great. Take a sip. Much love from the kid. Enjoy your day. Enjoy life. If you got a bandwagon to jump on, you might want to fucking do it right now. Player. BWBIV.com.